You know, a lot of us like to use affirmations and then find that they don't really work so well for us. So what we've uncovered at Vitalogy is a concept called declarative statements. And declarative statements are a little bit more specific and they're a little bit more personalized, and they're designed to really help you get at what you're trying to remind yourself of. Because there's these things that we're trying to remind ourselves of. What are they exactly? And what are they connecting to? We want to create fundamental changes in our life, and declarative statements can help us do that. They can include specific areas of life to across the board things. Declarative statements act as highly specialized verbal and mental cues. They reinforce what you are trying to internalize. A declarative statement consists of two parts: the life issue and/or behavior being addressed, and the statement addressing said issue. Here's what they do and how they work. 1. Create fundamental changes by retraining ingrained thinking and behavior. 2. Sum up everything from specific areas of life to across-the-board aspects of your personality. 3. Acts as constant reminders of issues and concepts you want to tackle. 4. Illustrate positive, ongoing action. 5. Are written proactively in your own words using absolutes whenever possible. Let's get into this a little bit more. So I work with a lot of people, and as they tell me about their story of life and what they think about life and how they think they fit in, I find myself thinking in terms of what are they really trying to tell themselves? And a lot of it comes from the narrative, or what I call the story they have about life. One client in particular had a problem with getting help, and they just couldn't understand why there was an issue. They felt other people around them were getting a lot more help in their life than they were. So we kind of unpacked that a little bit, and what we discovered is that they had a message that they heard a lot as a child from one of their parents, and it went something like this: the help you need is at the end of your arm. Well, that statement is kind of a mixed bag. It's saying you have to be relying on yourself, which is great, but it's also saying that your only source of help is yourself. That's not good. So the declarative statement is, the help I need is all around me. We take the concept and we reframe it. We use it in very absolutes. We frame it positively, and you have to put these into your own words, not just use what I'm giving you right now. But the idea is, think in terms of what do you really want to be telling yourself. These declarative statements, they have a shelf life. You're going to maybe use it for a few months, maybe a few weeks. But for that particular client, when they became available to help from other sources, and when they actually saw help coming in, they didn't feel like they had any psychological hindrances towards it, they were done. They were getting the help they needed. And we all need help. So let me give you a few examples of some declarative statements that I have come up with over the years with clients, and see if any of these resonate with you, or perhaps what you're hearing doesn't quite say it the way you want it, but you can modify it even better for yourself. Because remember, these got to be written in your own words. How about this one? For people who maybe have trouble with their decision making, with their, really holding themselves as an adult. I am the adult now. So it's not when, it's now. I am the adult now. And you keep repeating this to yourself. Write it down. Put it in places. Here's one. People who are a little bit perfectionistic have trouble coming to decisions. I make the right decisions for my life, and I learn through my mistakes. So that takes away the pressure, because we're all going to make mistakes. But if you're oriented towards perfectionism, that you don't want to do. None of us want it, but more so than others. As a perfectionist, you don't want it, but you got to make your decisions. So I make great decisions, and I learn from my mistakes. See how it works? You're catching on. Let's try another. The quality of my freedoms comes from the awareness of my structure. Now, some of us live very structured lives. Everything is organized and compartmentalized. I'm one of those people. But there are other people who are very creative, kind of very out of the box about how they go about doing things. And it takes all of us to build a community, doesn't it? But for those people, a little bit of structure would go a long ways. So saying the quality of my freedom stems from or is the result of the quality of my structure is just there to combine the two ideas. Because we can tend to think as creative people that freedom means no structure. Don't give me a structure. Don't label me. Don't put me in a box. But that's not what we want exactly. We want to have enough of a boundary to understand where we're moving. And that's a declarative statement that can help give us that. I can see you're catching on. Here's a good one. I use it a lot because for those of us who have lots of ideas, think a lot, mind going in a million directions, there's a point we actually have to produce something. Like I'm trying to produce this video right now. And so the declarative statement that I use, only do what's necessary. So before I sit down at a project, and I have several projects going on in my life at any one time, before I start the first keystroke, I clarify to myself, only do what's necessary. And that prevents a multitude of going down rabbit holes, which is going to be my tendency. So I want to be mindful of it, compassionate, but yet let's do something. So only do what's necessary. It's a mantra. I say that to myself first. Then I get started. And it so aids my decision making because if I'm only doing what's necessary, what do you think I'm asking myself at any juncture? Yeah, you're getting it. Is this necessary? Well, it better be, or I'm not doing it. Because I'm trying to get something done. And I truly believe at the end of the day, so are you. But we got to remove some of the impediments. Some of them come from the world outside of us, but some of them, let's be honest here, they're self-imposed. And there might be a lot of history behind it. We'll get into that in other videos. But for right now, let's take an action step in the form of a declarative statement to do something about it. Something that's lasting, something that's fundamental. People say, well, everything happens for a reason. Really? Well, what's the reason? And if it's happening over and over, why is this reason repeating itself? Because bottom line, everything happens for a reason doesn't mean jack if you don't know what the reason is. It's incomplete. Declarative statements are complete in and of themselves. Let's try another. Oh, I love this one. I run this on clients all the time because we live in a world that says you need this, but what about? And when? When I have this much money, when I have this kind of a boyfriend, when I have this kind of a house, when I have this kind of a car, when I have this kind of a job, when. Then. How about this? I act on the awareness I already have. It'd be great if we were all more evolved and more spiritual and just more of many things, but we are where we are. How about if we act right now on what we are, right now? Like when you turn off this video, act on it right now. Act on the awareness I already have. How much do you know about a particular project you're trying to complete? You must know something. You have some idea of the project. Then act on it. Act on that. And by taking steps and taking action, well, there's a really good chance that other things will evince themselves and you go, oh wow, I never thought of that. Well, now I can do this, now I can do that. Yes, because you started with something, acting on the awareness you already have. You get it? I have to pause for a moment and ask the cameraman how long this video is so far.
It's exactly 11 minutes.
Well, tell you what, we ran a little long today. It happens, but we can't do a lot of it because I don't like to be reprimanded. So, if you want a little help, further help with this, I suggest that you talk to this guy right over here because he's the one that's going to help you with the homework. What's a couple of declarative statements you can put together right now? I mean, I got pages of it here. How about this one? I don't do recovery. I stay recovered. There's some intonation about that. I am a great manager of myself and anything I put myself to. The grand finale. Because I could go on, but I'm not allowed. My desires have turned into beliefs. All right, I get another minute. Here's the deal. What do you desire versus what do you believe? Because what you desire doesn't matter. What matters is what you believe. If you desire to be healthy, but you believe you got bad genes, if you believe you don't have the capacity to push from the table so you can keep your weight reasonable, you're not going to believe that you are going to be healthy. And you're not going to be healthy because you simply desire it. So some things you do believe, there's no question. And it might even be a good idea to make a list of them. I believe this, I believe this, I believe that. But then think, well, this is what I desire. I desire this, I desire that. Bet you're not getting the same level of results about the things you desire versus the things you believe. So how do we turn those desires into beliefs? That's a great question. And the great question, or the good question, will be subject of another video, which you'll probably want to watch maybe after this one, I don't know. We haven't done it yet, but we'll get it up and you'll get it going because you can do this. Yes, you can. And we're all in it together. So let's get at it. Have a great day.